Welcome back. The broadsword, ancient weapon. Now this is an old, cheap replica of a real broadsword, but it's a practice broadsword. One of the first ones I've ever had, at least the one that didn't tear up. When you start to develop, you'll tear up training equipment. If you practice seriously on a regular basis, you know what I'm talking about. Punching bags even wear out. Sandbags tear, eventually fall apart. All right, with the broadsword, there's some similar features to the broadsword as to the spear. And by the way, we appreciate all the likes on the last video, or the one before on the spear. Now the broadsword is similar to the spear in the sense that measures were taken to keep the blood moving away from the pommel. So in the spear, I talked about the tassel. The red tassel on the end of the spear would soak up the blood, minimizing the amount of fluid that ran down the shaft because it could get slick and the weapon could be dropped. Now the broadsword has these grooves. If you can kind of see these two little lines, and they go the length of the blade. This was to pull the blood away from the pommel. So while you're swinging a broadsword, the blood would go into these grooves, right? Because water finds its level, it goes into those grooves and travels all the way down the opposite direction. Now the tassel that would hang down on the end of the broadsword, I have mine off right now, would also soak up blood, further protecting the pommel. The tassel could also be used to wrap around the hand, securing the weapon further. Now in the ancient world, often they would have a BB on the end of the tassel so they could pop. Maybe they pop an eye out, an iron pellet on the end of the tassel, right? Now with all that being said, we're gonna work on some intermediate technique here. We're gonna do the pass, slicing and passing, slashing and passing rather. So we're gonna practice slashing, changing the blade from one hand to the other while stepping. Now that's the technique at normal speed. Now I'm gonna slow it down. I'm gonna break down the stance first. Angle that a little bit. The stance, so that back heel comes up. This is the stance. Now, one hand on the wrist. I'm gonna slash up this way, just like this. So I slash up, turn it over. Now we want the blade facing forward. That viper's mouth comes in. Now if I get closer and do it here, I can detail it. So you see how the blade faces this way? I'm slashing up, still slashing. Now I have to use my thumb. It's gonna come off the normal grip. It's gonna slip to the front. And I'm gonna use it to spin with the fingers. Use the thumb and the fingers to spin the blade. Now we want the blade forward. Here's our viper's mouth. Our blade is facing forward. Now we can slash. 1, 2, here it is again. Now, if you don't turn the blade, watch what happens. Now we have the wrong, we don't have the sharp end to slash with. Now, if you're showing mercy upon your opponent, as the Shaolin monks would do, merciful Buddha. However, if it has to get really ugly, the blade is the option. Okay, so understand, we want to flip that blade 180 degrees. All the way up, the thumb comes around. Using the thumb and the other fingers to spin the blade, lifting the elbow. Now here's my viper's mouth. I'm gonna come in. See how the blade drops, allowing a little bit of space for that inverted viper's mouth to get in there? Now we've got the blade facing this way. Slap this hand on, I go slash, back, step out, cut. All right, so if you listen to the sound of this, don't mistake that for a flimsy blade. This sound is a teacher. You can hear it on the pass. Has a certain rhythm to it if you're developed. Here we go. All right. That's the upward pass. So you have that. Rewind if you need to. Check it out, watch it. The thumb and the other fingers are working together. All right, this is the concept of the micro, the macro, tiger, snake, leopard, crane, dragon, the micro, ant, spider, mantis, scorpion, hornet. Small movements, these represent the micro. So in this pass, that's the micro teachers working the tiny details in the fingers, working to turn the blade over properly. The fingers are needed to pull that off. Dexterity also develops in the fingers. So here's the sound. One more time. It's constant, hence the figure 8, continuous motion, continuous rhythm in the sound of motion. The metal, the earth element, vibrating through the air like a gong, breaking up stagnation. Now we've also got the downward pass. So I'm slashing this way. Now when we start this, we don't slash this way because you won't be able to pass the blade the same way. So we're gonna start this way. We're working the backhand slice, right? Same thing. Just like the uppercut, this is the downward. So every time you see that hand changes onto the wrist, all right? Microscopic detail. Flip the blade around. The blade's got to be facing forward. So if I slice down, when I go forward, now look where the blade's facing. That's right, backwards. Now we cut down. So you see, I said that prematurely. The downward slash, you want the blade facing backwards. And the upward slash, you want it facing forward. Let me demonstrate that again for you. Upward slash, blade faces forward, right? Downward slash, blade faces backward. You have to excuse me, I can do it better than I can say it. So sometimes I say it wrong. All right, but the motion is still correct. All right, with that being said, we have the upward and the downward. One more time. Now that sound is what you want to listen for. Is it rhythmic? All right. So that's the upward and the downward slash with the pass. Now these micro styles represent small details, as I said, really small. So imagine this. You're looking at a wall and you're 10 feet away. Wall looks like it's in real good condition, but someone who's closer to the wall is gonna see the cracks. But if they're closer and you say, no, that wall is clean, someone closer says, no, there's a crack here, there's a crack there, but they can't see it until they step closer. You see, now we're shrinking down our perception, down. So imagine an ant or a spider crawling on that wall. It's gonna see everything if it continues to move the full surface, move over the full surface. It's gonna see every crack, every blemish. And that's what the micro creature teachers help us with. All right? So we appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, you can reach me at centerfist@gmail.com. If you want lessons, same email. All right, the likes are up. That spear video got over 1,000 views in 3 days. It jumped to 74 likes from 8. Looked like it was almost overnight. So we appreciate the support of the channel. Like I said, right now, I don't even want any donations, but if you want lessons, they are available. Other than that, the stuff on these videos are absolutely free. Enjoy it. My gift to you, Seafood Les Clements out.